I think the best advice I would give anybody is to have good connection, network, and always try to open doors for yourself and never close a door. Even if you're not going to use it, leave it there. You might come back and use the same door again later on. You can never tell when you're going to need it.
How can a set of skills lead you down the path to success? That's what we're setting out to answer on the EdUp Canada podcast. I'm your host, Michael Sangster. Join me as we unpack how leaders around the world have taken training and skills and turned that into a lasting career. Now let's learn together. Welcome back to the EdUp Canada podcast. I'm Michael Sangster, your host, and I'm joined today by a gentleman I've gotten to know over the past year and a half or so. Great individual running a career college that is unique to say the least, doing amazing work in Mississauga. Dr. Sherif William. Dr. William is the college director at Mississauga Career College. And I asked him to join me today because I wanted to talk a little bit about his institution because they're doing really unique things. Not just normal training, and they've got kind of a usual background and group. So Dr. William, do you want to just introduce yourself first, and then we'll get into the college?
Sure. My name is Sherif William. My background is I'm a medical doctor. I'm not practicing here in Canada, but since I came here, I was involved into medical projects, and then I started teaching into private career college since 2018 into the medical field as well. And then I ends up here in Mississauga Career College, and now I'm a director of Mississauga Career College. I
say you're a unique college. You've got a direct relationship into a community, don't you?
That's correct.
Why don't you give us a little background on that connection?
Sure. Mississauga Career College is owned by a non-for-profit charity organization. The whole idea when our mother company or the stockholder of the college, the charity organization, they thought about it, that they want to have something for help the community and help the newcomers, people to the country here, to achieve a good education and help them to face the challenges that they face when they come here, language-wise, professional-wise, and all that. And this is where the idea came from. It was first they start with a learning center, and then it has been converted in 2015, it has been converted into college, into a private career college.
And all the regulatory regimes that you operate under in Ontario to make sure there's a quality education and good outcomes and jobs for people who graduate.
Exactly.
What's your biggest program?
Our biggest program is the personal support worker that we had it in hands with the National, with NAC.
I knew that answer, I will admit, before I answer the question, because I was intrigued. Because if I'm correct, the majority of your graduates, or a good percentage of your graduates, go directly into care homes that are associated with your not-for-profit, right?
Exactly. Yes. To be honest with you, the minute I started being a director of career college, I remember the first call I made to NAC just to find my way how to start with personal support worker, because I believed in that personal support worker is the good support for the health system and the community as well. So I started the first call when I called NAC, and I remember very well the call. And then we started from there, and I start to ask for the guidance almost every day. I called and they get the help, and we create a very good program.
And you're graduating hundreds of students every year out of that program directly into local care homes in your community.
That's correct. We are almost now at 700 graduates from PSW. In about 3 or 4 years.
It's fantastic. So I just going to go off on a little sideline here. We'll go back to some of your other programs, but we went on a little walk around. Is it an old high school you're in?
The building that it's owned by the charity, by our charity, is a huge building. In the building, we have private school from SK all the way to high school. It has the college, a museum, and it has a family service center as well.
And we went through a church, basically.
And a church, exactly. And a church as well.
That was right inside the institution.
There are 2 churches within the premises, one outside of the building and one inside the building.
We'll try and get some photos up too of what that inside church was like, how absolutely stunningly beautiful it was inside.
It
What
is.
was the denomination of that church?
It's called 7 Altars.
It was just absolutely gorgeous inside that building. You opened a door and all of a sudden it took my breath away. So I wanted to get into the staff because you got a real neat staff environment going on too. Everybody's really buying in together. It was incredibly friendly walking around the facility that day. It was a bit of a quiet day for students, but it was a really interesting group of people. How long have most of you worked together?
The nice thing, what we do here, I have to be honest with you, without my team here, I wouldn't make it at all. They are great people around me, very supportive. They are with me in the good days and in the bad days. And they are very supportive, as well as the board of member of the charity organization. They believe in what we are doing. All of them are really very supportive to us. Our success came from this. I mean, we have a great team. We have people here working with us since 5 years now or 4 years, and we don't like to change people. We like to keep our people, especially when they are really proven that they are good people and they are doing their best for the college and for every one of the students.
I want to dive deep because, everybody hears the stories. I just finished a call with an official in the government of Canada who is actually preparing for a meeting tomorrow and wanted to be briefed up on a few things that we're doing because they're a believer in our sector and wanted to make sure they understood some things. And we all hear the stories about our sector being fly by night and no regulation. And we hear these stories. Walk me through the regulatory approvals, and I'll take a shot first, of your diagnostic sonography program, because the institution needs to be regulated. And then the class, the building, the site visits, everything the government goes through with your facility, the instructors, the student aid people. There's all these layers of regulation before you can even offer or teach a program. You have to prove job need for the program before you can launch that program. But this 2,400-hour diagnostic sonography program, talk to me about the regulatory approvals you've needed for that.
That was a very long journey. Let's put it this way. It took us exactly 3 years to get approved for the program. The problem that we face that they changed the regulation while we are in the process of approval. So we reach a point and then that, yes, we are here that are supposed to get approved. They said, no, you have to go back from the very beginning because the rules has been changed and you are not fully approved yet. So we have to go back. So we have to get, first of all, we have to design the program and send it to the ministry to get approved. And then that was the regulation before. And then later on, they changed it that we have to send it to Accreditation Canada first. Accreditation Canada will approve it. And then once Accreditation Canada give us the approval letter, we go back to the ministry with the letter of approval and the program, and we start normal approval process with the ministry. And that's what we did. The program, it goes into 2 or 3 phases. The first phase is that register, that Sonography Canada and Accreditation Canada approve the program and register it with them. And once they register and approved by the ministry, now we can advertise and we can start recruiting students. When we reach that, yes, we're going to start teaching, we have to inform Accreditation Canada and Sonography Canada that we start teaching, and then they will come to give us the full accreditation for this. We have to have everything up to standard with the Sonography Canada and Accreditation Canada as well. That we have to buy the top-of-the-line machines. We have to prepare an exact environment like the clinic, like the sonography lab, and with the privacy, with beds, with machines, with everything.
I went through and I was interested to see in your site that it's an 18-month program, 2,400 hours, but you're talking about careers that people are rolling out into $70,000, $100,000 jobs when they graduate, and instant employment.
Exactly.
The demand far outreaches the supply of people who are graduating.
The demand is huge. I was talking to one of our supplier for the machines, and I was asking him about that because these people, they know the market very well. So I asked him, what do you think? There is a huge need in the market. And he said that he cannot sell machines because there is no enough operators of the machine in the market. There are so many clinics and they are so high demands and patient waiting list, but he cannot sell the machine because of the high demand there is no operator. There is no sonography.
And sadly, this is one of the programs that the federal government cut grants for.
Yes.
That we'll now be working through the exemption process to try and get it re-added to, because it is a huge demand and not enough people training for these programs. And part of the reason is also those regulations you got to go through, right? To keep, and now you're certified, I'm assuming annual recertification or reapproval.
Exactly. They can come anytime. Caucasian Career can come anytime. And they do come every year, and they check on you. And if there's any mistake, they can revoke the license right away.
Yeah, it is a high bar to hit for a program like this. And I wanted to get into it. You've also got other programs that you're training for. Your pre-medical program.
We got a pre-medical program, yes.
What does that entail for a student walking in the front door? What are we looking at?
There are some people, they want their aim geared to being a physician or going to the medical school. The journey to the medical school here in our system in Canada, it's challenging. The acceptance is very small and it's very limited to students. And it's a very long way. There is a lot of people that are going out of the country to go get the license and come back and do the evaluation exam after that. So what we did here, that we went and we had an affiliation with 4 Caribbean medical schools that they recognize the program we designed, and they recognize it as the first 2 years pre-medical program they have. And we have an affiliation with them. So what meaning that when the students join our program here, they spend the first 2 years here with us at Mississauga Career College. They get all the material they need and all the subjects they need, and the credit, it's around 95 credits. They get it with our program. And once they finish the program and successfully by at least 80% success rate, they are guaranteed to have an acceptance in any one of the 4 medical school in Caribbean that we have affiliation with, without an entrance exam there, without anything.
So it's a very worthwhile program for someone looking to get into. I was at a conversation last week at a graduation ceremony here at the University of Ottawa that my daughter was graduating from. And I was genuinely pleased with how many doctors I saw graduating at that day. But then you think about the scope, and we still have a massive need that goes far beyond what was graduating out of that university. And it was a good sized class, with a very, very interesting, diverse classroom too. And I was talking to one of the faculty members, and he pointed out the percentage, and I won't quote it because he wasn't exactly sure of the number, but the number of international students coming here to train as doctors who then go home, though, which is valuable to help the world. But we need to train doctors in this country at a faster pace.
That's correct. Definitely.
This is another way to do it. Talk to me. I warned you when we started this that I'm a little random. I like to jump around. Talk to me about your partnership with Achev. I'd never heard of this group, and I might not be saying it right. Achev? ACHEV. It's an interesting group.
Achev, it's a government company. They call it Settlement Center. They have a huge settlement center here at the center of Mississauga. They do everything for the newcomer to settle them down and to help them get jobs, to help them to put a resume, to do all that. Achev also start offering loans to the student loans. And the good thing is that they are offering these loans through the bank. I think it's CIBC, I think. And Achev is also giving a low rate to the students' loans, especially when they are going into a medical program. And the loan, when the students get the loan, they can get the loan, I think, up to $30,000, and they pay only interest while they are studying. And then once they finish, they can start paying loan and interest after they finish, and up to 5 years they can pay it off.
It was very interesting. I know the Windmill Micro Lending that you're working with as well for newcomers, and we partnered with them. They're a great organization, but I wasn't familiar with this one before. There's so many of these organizations out there that partner with our colleges to offer supports for students. You have found this one to be valuable for other colleges that are listening?
Achev is a very good company, especially it's a government-funded company, so it's something to trust. They have been doing this for a while, and they are really big here in Ontario. I don't know about other provinces.
Well, I'll be looking into that one to see how we can partner with them to spread the word about the work they're doing. So we'll dive back into the college in a second, but we ask people 2 questions on the podcast because we think it's important to get into the personal side of this. Talk to me about a skill that you have, that you either had on your own or something you developed that you think makes you successful in doing what you do, or The other option I give people is tell them about a skill you think a student should develop while they're in your college to make them successful. I always joke, my skill, I can walk in any room and start talking. Never been a problem being able to just start and be open with people and develop a relationship and go from there. But what would you suggest either has made you successful or has make students successful as they go off into their careers?
I think the best advice I would give anybody is to have good connection, network, and always try to open doors for yourself and never close a door. Even if you're not going to use it, leave it there. You might come back and use the same door again later on. You can never tell when you're going to need it.
Very good advice. Just keep leaving people in a place that you can work with them in the future. Keep working with people every day you can. Talk to me a little bit for our listeners, the ones that aren't in our sector. You've got steps of a career college, from that recruitment to admissions to starting the class to a placement coordinator that's making sure that they spend, we'll use the PSW program. There's 300 hours they've got to spend, 200 in a care home, 100 in a home care environment. They've got to work into this situation. So there's got to be a placement officer lining those spots up. But then at the end of the day, there's a career services person, isn't there, that helps them get into a job. I'm interested in hearing about that role within your college, even the person, but how important that is for the students that go through your programs.
What we figure out through the years that it's not only that you graduate the students. These people are really, the students are coming because they are looking for a better job, better life. So you can't just graduate them and let them go and tell them, okay, when you graduate, bye-bye, we're done here. No. What we do is that we try to hold so many hiring events here. We call the big companies, like all the home care companies, everybody in the health sector. We try to attract these people to come here to our college and our facility free of charge. We don't charge anybody anything. We want our students to get hired. Achieve also is having a lot of hiring events, and we are always there. And we send an invitation to everybody who graduate from a year, 2 years, 3 years. We send also a mass bulk email to all our people in our platform that there is a hiring event somewhere at Achieve or at the college, so they can come and they can talk to the hiring people, and then they might get a better job or better offer than what they have. And also try to send, I always give them what we bring here before the placement. We bring all our students to the college and we give them the 10 golden rules about what to do in the placement that they will make them hire you. It's not about that you spend the 300 hours there. You want to sell yourself. You want to show them the best of you. So they can, if they have a vacancy there, they can right away say, yes, this is the right person. Let's hire him. Show up in your perfect way. Show up on time. Be there. Whatever they ask you for, do it. Don't try to be smart or don't try to make it, I can finish this very quickly. No. Do exactly your job title and exactly what they're asking you for. Sell yourself and do your best there so they can hire you. That's what we always advise them.
Yeah, I know. I can't agree with that more. Show up on time, show up early, walk in the front door in a good mood, leave your stuff at the side, your phone stays in the bag. There's so many basic lessons that people still need to learn in order to be successful and get hired. We hired Nanos Research last year to do a survey, and it was incredible. Of our graduates, 30% were graduated at their placements before they left employment. That's unheard of. And there's a couple other statistics, but an interesting one for me was 81% of our graduates are in careers that are either directly related, 71%, or somewhat related, another 10%, to the training they had. It's unheard of to be in that kind of numbers where the training led to the career opportunity, led to the job. They can see the 6 months, the 8 months they spent at Mississauga Career College led to a job that's led to a career.
Exactly.
I had a great conversation with a personal support worker in Ottawa one day, and she talked to me about, she went from having a job to having a career. And then she explained to me, she was a newcomer to Canada from the Philippines, had been here for about 10 years, and just explained for the first time she felt like she had a career. She had benefits. They had to explain to her what benefits were, and her health care and her insurance and her RSP and she was asking me about it because we've got a friendship. And I was explaining to her, that's the RSP. You can put into that and it'll help you with your retirement. And she didn't understand it. So that's part of the magic of what comes out of these career colleges, isn't it? So I want to just touch on, of your other programs, are you seeing, I noticed the food support worker, the medical office assistant, are you seeing growth in those programs? They're fairly new for you, aren't they?
The demand is not high on these two programs. We have some demands. We have also an accounting, computerized accounting, tax, and payroll as well. And there is a demand on the medical office assistant. There is a demand, but it's not as big as the personal support worker, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it'll be a steady program for many of the colleges, but it's not going to have the high. And sadly, we still see too much turnover in the PSW world, so we need to keep training more and more as we go forward. I always ask people, and I did look at your accounting program. That looks quite interesting, and that would come. Does that have a regulator that has approved it as well?
It is.
It does. We ask everybody a final question. Our career colleges are about mentoring students, and that mentoring happens, again, from admissions all the way to career placement. Can you talk to me about a mentor in your career that made a difference or had an impact in you? And we talk about this because we think it's an important part of what comes out of our career education system in Canada. So talk to me about a mentor, Dr. Sherif, that impacted you.
He is actually one of my professors at the college, at the medical school. And he's still around. And actually, I lost connection with him for 6-7 years. And I found him here in Canada. He was my mentor for years and years. I was very attached to him. And I think if I really learned anything in medical school, he was the first fundamental for me because he was the professor who taught us physiology in the first and second year. Dr. Iskander was one of my first mentor. And then this man, I really appreciate all his help and all what he did for me.
We're trying to tell these stories because we think it's also important that every one of us can be a mentor.
Yes.
Every one of us can take a moment with someone and help change a pathway, right? And I know from being in your institution that you have done that for hundreds of students already. You and your team, and I know you see it as you and your team.
Yes.
Have had those kind of impacts. You talked about free tuition.
Yes.
Explain that, because you do a significant amount of your students on free tuition. How do you do that?
What we do usually, when we have the students coming to us, we sit with them. We get the advisors sit with each and every student, speak with them about why do you want to do the program, because we want them to be successful. We don't want them to spend time and money for no reason. And then we try also to sense if these people are struggling in life. I mean, we are a non-for-profit organization and for a good cause. We are here to help because at the end of the day, nobody's putting any money in his pocket. Everything goes back to the charity, which are using it again for other things. They own a food bank, orphans. They have some food supply. I mean, they have so many things they are doing to back to the community. So as part of us that to pay back for the community, we help those people who wants to achieve a career, but the money is the gap or the problem that's facing them. So once we have this problem, we usually sit with them, we get the board approval, and we offer a free program to anyone that he really doesn't need for the program, and they prove that he cannot be able to pay it. We have so many cases of this.
It is a special place, and I don't think people realize. It's funny when I get asked about other colleges from other college owners. I've had a few people ask me about yours, and I say, go see it. You've got to walk in the front door and go see this unique college inside of a building next to a church with a church inside the building, and that they're doing free education for some students. It's unheard of. I appreciate your time today, sir. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we sign off?
I would like to thank you for having me today. And I would like to thank NAC for all the support they are doing for us. I really appreciate your support. I'm not saying that because I'm today here. No, I'm always saying that for everyone.
Well, the team loves you. Our auditors that have been in, they all come back raving about how much fun they had and how the energy in the building was great. And I appreciate your kind words. It's a special place, as many of our institutions are, but you are unique in our sector with some of the things you're doing. And I encourage people to check out Mississauga Career College. I guess it's MississaugaCollege.ca is the website. Check it out and see what they're doing. And I look forward to seeing you again in the near future, Dr. Sherif. And with that, we'll sign off this week's edition of the EdUp Canada podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to another episode of the EdUp Canada podcast. We release new episodes regularly, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when they are officially out. If you love this episode, please leave a 4 or 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts so that others can also discover how a set of skills can lead to success. Thanks for learning with us.